So you want to know how bards have changed in D&D 5.5? Whether you're making a new character or trying to port over an old one, I've compiled absolutely everything that's been changed, so you don't have to. Your core traits have gotten noticeably worse, losing hand crossbow, longsword, rapier, and short sword proficiencies, and even your starting equipment is a bit worse now. Your number of prepared spells is shuffled around a bit, so while you end up with the same amount at level 20, you get more at the early levels, but fewer in the last quarter. And cantrip versatility is a basic part of spellcasting now. Bardic Inspiration now lasts for an hour, so you can worry way less about someone not getting the chance to use it, and they use it after you fail a roll instead of the old after seeing the roll but before knowing if it's failed or not. Very cool. Expertise and Jack of all trades are unchanged, minus gain the second expertise 1 level early. Song of Rest is very changed in that it's fucking gone. Font of Inspiration kept its short rest recharge time, but now lets you burn a spell slot to gain a use of Bardic Inspiration. You get Counter Charm 1 level later now, and it's completely different. Instead of a stupid little dance, you just use your reaction when someone fails a saving throw against being charmed or frightened to let them reroll with advantage. Yes, that is 3d20 total. Magical secrets are much simpler now, though you might not be able to tell from how it's written. Instead of getting 2 spells from another spell list, your spell list just includes Wizard, Druid, and Cleric spells now. Though this does mean you lose out on some spells from other spell lists like Warlock or Paladin. Superior Inspiration dropped down to level 18 from being the capstone, and was buffed substantially to bring you up to 2 inspiration if you have less than that when you roll initiative, instead of only giving you 1 inspiration if you're out. Used to be maybe the worst capstone in the game, so good change. You get an Epic Boon level 19, always an improvement, and your new capstone is the new feature, Words of Creation. You always have Power Word Heal and Kill prepared, and can target a second creature if they're within 10 feet of the first, which is even better than you think it is because both spells got buffed. Power Word Heal only technically, but Power Word Kill substantially, doing more damage than Disintegrate if it fails to just kill outright. A perfect bard capstone. For the subclasses, 5.5 only has 4 per class, which means that Creation, Eloquence, Spirit, Swords, and Whispers are missing. But you can still play them since WotC really wants you to believe this game is backwards compatible. And before we cover the ones in 5.5, a reminder that there are 10 more of these coming down the pipe, and with a channel my size, subscribing is really the only way to make sure you'll see them. Anyway, the first subclass in the book is the all-new College of Dance. Dazzling Footwork is its bread and butter, and it's goofy as hell. You get unarmed defense, but with charisma. Your unarmed strikes use dexterity and Bardic Inspiration die for damage. You get to make an unarmed strike whenever you use Bardic Inspiration as action, bonus action, or reaction. And you get advantage on performance checks to dance, which is just nice. At level 6, you get Inspiring Movement. If someone ends their turn within 5 feet of you, you can burn a Bardic Inspiration to move away from them without provoking opportunity attacks, which does trigger your unarmed attack first. And then you let a second person move too, also without provoking opportunity attacks. And in case that wasn't fast enough, at the same level, when you roll initiative, you and every ally within 30 feet of you gains a bonus to initiative equal to a Bardic Inspiration die roll. Though since you're burning it outside of an action, bonus action, or reaction, it doesn't work with Dazzling Footwork. At least the names in the subclass are great. Tandem Footwork. Love it. Finally, at level 14, you get Leading Evasion, which is just regular evasion with the tiny detail that you can share it with any creatures within 5 feet of you, which, beyond being mechanically insane, lets you save your party member from a fireball by pulling them into a dip. There could be no better flavor for the dance bard. The first returning subclass is College of Glamour. Mantle of Inspiration is only changed a bit. Instead of gaining a flat amount of temp health, it's 2 times the amount rolled. Slightly better at early levels, slightly worse later levels, but not by amounts to worry about. Beguiling Magic replaced Enthralling Performance. After you cast an enchantment or illusion spell, you can try and make someone within 60 feet of you frightened or charmed once per day for free, but you can burn a Bardic Inspiration to do it again. Oh, and you get Charm Person and Mirror Image always prepped, so you don't need to worry too much about picking spells that work with the feature yourself. Mantle of Majesty works the same, except it adds command to your spell list instead of just letting you use it with the feature, and you can use it multiple times in a day by burning a level 3 or higher spell slot. Also, while the ability itself wasn't buffed that much, it was indirectly buffed by Beguiling Magic. Since command's an enchantment spell, every time you cast it, you can try and charm something, so long as you're willing to burn the inspiration, and it auto-succeeds on charmed targets, which there should be plenty of now. Finally, Unbreakable Majesty is nerfed pretty heavily, now only stopping the triggering attack instead of preventing the creature from attacking you at all this turn, though it does cause the attack to miss now instead of letting them choose a new target. College of Lore was changed very little actually, despite the changes to magic secrets. The 3 bonus proficiencies are still there, and the only difference for cutting words is that it now works on deaf creatures. Magical Discoveries replaces additional magical secrets, and instead of letting you get 2 spells from any spell list, it gives you 2 spells from the Wizard, Druid, or Cleric spell list. So accounting for the changes to magical secrets, the only difference is you can't pick bard spells anymore. And if that upsets you, you're officially more boring than the boring option. Congrats. Peerless skill is nearly the same, except better in every way. You add the bardic inspiration after you fail instead of after you see the roll, but before you know the result. It works on attacks and checks, not just checks. And if you still fail, the die isn't expended. Finally, the College of Valor gets its time in the sun after being replaced by College of Swords in 5.0. Combat inspiration is unchanged aside from making the effects more clear in the book, and the proficiencies from martial training are the same too. Although now you can use your weapon as a spellcasting focus, and it's better compared to other bards now since they lost all their martial weapons. Extra attacks, now let's use a cantrip as one of the attacks, which is really not that impressive if you plan to use a cantrip every turn. Bards have no good options for that, but quite good as a way to cast some magic without having to fully give up martial for the turn. Same idea behind battle magic, which looks unchanged, but it's actually much better because they changed the wording from use your action to cast a spell to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action. Which looks nearly the same, but it now works with a cantrip you can use with extra attacks for a cantrip cast and 2 swings at the cost of a bonus action. It's also just nice being able to cast like the full caster you are without suddenly feeling out of place in the middle of combat. Final rating for the changes? +5 charisma. Perfect. Though I had it down at 18 out of 20 for a long time, to the point where that's what's in the early access video. I was way too down on Valor Bard, and wrote a lot about it for this outro, but like I said, this video was done, and I really needed to stay that way so I can finish the next video, so that's all going into the extra ramblings on Patreon, where you can also find that next video right now, 1 week before it goes public. And you'll get your name enshrined next to these wonderful patrons, so you'll have proof you invested at under 500 subs. Till next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and bye-bye.